Welcome to Greater Faith Outreach Ministries, reaching the world with the love of God.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Greater Faith Outreach Ministry here at BD Local. We have CareNet in the house. Woohoo! Yes, they're doing
Yay.
wonderful work for so many generations. But we're going to get into that. But I'm going to let Elizabeth Kim, my co-host, she's going to start it off. We have Wendy here, co-host Wendy Sundstrom, and our
Hello.
other co-host, Elizabeth Kim, Miss Bellevue, Washington. And she's going to introduce our guest, and we're going to go ahead and get the ball rolling, okay? Let's go.
Well, thank you so much for having Tinika here today. And she is the center director at Tacoma CareNet Center. And she's going to share a little bit about what kind of service CareNet provide and how this CareNet, strengthen the woman who's going through a crisis pregnancy. So, hello, Tinika.
Tanika White.
Thank you for coming in here. So yeah, I mean, when I was a client, I went through the Bothell Clinic, but so grateful that I met you. So can you tell us a little bit about CareNet?
Yes, CareNet is a faith-based pregnancy center. A lot of times people ask, what is that? Well, we're actually nonprofit. All of our services are at no cost to women. We provide free pregnancy tests, free ultrasounds, free parenting classes. We also provide material assistance. So somebody that's not even actually a client, they can come through the door if they need diapers and wipes for their littles. We provide that for them as well. We also provide abortion recovery. So if there's women out there that have chosen that and they're having regrets about it, they're having emotions about it, they're having feelings about that and trauma behind that, there is an 8-week class that they can take with other women and other leaders that have been through the same thing. No judgment, no shame. And so they get to walk through the healing process. And then also we have a men's ministry where young men, older men, right now we have an older dad that's taking the classes that can do parenting classes with another male mentor one-on-one. So we provide a lot of services and they all kind of gel together and work together wonderfully.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it's all free. I mean, you don't charge at all?
Not at all. We don't even require insurance or anything like that. I know there's other programs that require insurance,
amazing.
but there's no red tape, so you can come right in.
If you don't mind me asking, is it like government funded or who funded?
All of our funds come from private donors.
Okay.
We do have some grants, but mainly all of our resources come from private donors. And a lot of times those are people that are actually in the churches and outside community.
So how do you start people who don't have the same faith? Like not everybody believe in the Lord, So I'm sure people who don't know Jesus Christ as their savior step into your care, center. Do you have any success in that? Are they open
Absolutely, absolutely. So if there's an open door and we see that somebody is open to receiving more guidance in their faith and want to know more about Christianity, then we share that. But we don't force our beliefs on anybody. We're here to care for that person, and we don't let anything else stand in the way when it comes to that. So daily we have clients come through our door that are not Christian, and then sometimes we do, but a lot of times we get to pray with them regardless. We get to share faith with them a lot of times, and it's really amazing. I think that I probably pray for like 99% of my clients. Even atheists sometimes come through the door, and I'm like, is there any way I can be praying for you? And they say, yes, can you pray for this, this, and that? And we get to pray in that appointment. And sometimes I get to have a continued relationship with those clients, and sometimes I don't get to see them again. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. Do you have any question, ladies?
Well, I'd like to say if you are out there and you are able to donate to this awesome ministry, I would encourage that. And her name and her ministry should be rolling along the bottom of the feeds. So as you're watching, so take that number down, jot it down, and send her some donations if you can.
So what is the expectation? Like, I was referred by my friends like 10 years ago. So I did not know, I didn't have health insurance at the time. So I didn't have any option but going there. But me personally, all these nurses were really professional, and then they gave me all this information, and they taught me how to take care of babies and everything. So can you touch on that a little bit? Yeah.
On the medical side, so we
Medical
have a
side and education
doctor
too, yeah.
that oversees all of the medical portion of the ministry, and then we have nurses and a director of nurses that oversees the medical side as well. So all of our medical staff are professional and trained, and they get continued training and education and expanded classes on all varieties of areas, and they get to continue to be on top of the latest when it comes to medical care. So we have excellent nurses. They give excellent care to our clients, but then there's also the faith-based side of that as well. We have nurses that have strong faith backgrounds, and so if they're talking to a client, maybe they're in an ultrasound and baby has no heartbeat, and the client was excited about that baby, then she can pray with that client, and they're just really well versed.
Well, what amazing work that you guys are doing. It's like a wraparound program.
It really is.
You said you do biblical teaching and truth, and you pregnancy, sexual health, and abortion recovery and things like
Right.
that. And you also help the men out,
Yep.
right? It's just so much compassion in here, you know. I feel that. And you're doing so much, and what you're doing is investing. You're investing your life and yourself into this next generation, which means so much, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it means so much to invest yourself
Right.
into the lives of these children. You don't know who you're investing into, the
Right.
governors, lawyers, preachers,
Right.
doctors, you know.
Right.
It's just awesome. I'm
Right.
excited about
Yeah,
what you guys are
right.
doing. I really am. You're a blessing.
So let me ask you. So there are not many people want to maybe keep the baby. You know, I was struggling at the time too, out of fear, lack of resources and everything. So have you ever run into clients who actually just want to abort a child?
Oh, absolutely.
Then how do you?
Our approach is the first thing we do when we sit down with a pregnancy test client is to ask them, what is your biggest concern today? And the way we wrap up the appointment is, do you have any questions or do you have any concerns? So that full appointment is all about them, everything that they're going through, getting information on their support system, what that looks like, asking them about their living situations. We've had a lot of clients that are experiencing homelessness. There's a lot of different factors. So we need to get to the root of what it is that's keeping them from making the choice for life, whether they want to carry that baby, whether they want to choose adoption, or if they're really looking at abortion as an option. So we want to know the why behind it. And if we can fill in the blanks, then that takes away the pressure in that area. We had a couple of clients, couples that were experiencing homelessness, and we were able to get them housing and get that thing settled. And so when those kind of pressures are let down, then there's more opportunity for them to really think about this pregnancy. So our approach is woman focused, and that's because it takes a woman really having a settled mind before they can really think about another life. And so that's what we look at.
That's good. So I just want to clarify this one. So at CareNet, you do not perform, or do you perform any abortion? in
we
the
don't
clinic?
we don't perform or we don't refer for abortion, and that's really counterintuitive because we have the Healing Tide program, which is the post-abortive recovery program.
Okay.
And so we're not going to refer a woman to go out and get an abortion only to have her come back and get counseling. So that's why we don't do that. And I think that anybody that really wants to make that choice has all the resources available to them
Yeah.
to make that choice. But our focus is on pregnant clients because we are a pregnancy center, not a family planning center.
Yeah. And that's good. I heard you say you listen to what they have to say. Why
Right.
would they do that?
good.
So they want to know, what do I do? Where do I go? And they also want to know, where does life start? A lot of
Right.
times the doctors would tell them, oh, it's just a fetus. It's not, a baby yet. So you guys are there to show them the truth.
Right.
Okay. And it helps out, when they
Yeah.
know the truth, when the baby starts, the life starts.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Right. And we perform those
Conception.
early ultrasounds. And so we don't have have to convince a woman. Once they go into that ultrasound room, we always say that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
Because when they see that heartbeat on the screen, we don't have to tell them. So I believe it's 96% of our clients that go to ultrasound choose life for their babies.
That was
and
me.
So, yep.
That was me.
There you
like,
go.
God.
This nurse, I think that was Sue at the time. She's like, I see the little baby. It was a little tiny jelly bean. I was like, not a baby, not a baby. And then he's like jumping around, in your belly. And, I could see that his head's full of energy. And I could not. I just, I decided to keep the baby then. Yeah. And my child's father was there too. And we both like crying. So, yeah, thank you for what you're doing. Can you share a little bit about challenges and, what you're facing and what is the thing that we can do to help you as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that people can be involved, even if it just comes down to prayer. Just put us on your prayer list because every day we're warring. We never really know what's going to come through our doors. We walk in appointments. And so there's so many tough scenarios. There's so many tough situations. Before I came into the center, I was working with another program that was outside the center, and I knew what CareNet did, but I didn't know what CareNet did until I was there one-on-one facing those clients. So somebody that can pray. Also, if you have the funds to be able to donate to the centers, we always need diapers. We always need wipes. We always need those baby items. If they're lightly used or brand new, just send them in. There's so many times where we have clients that need this and they need that. And we're like, oh, what are we going to do? And we pray about it. And then like the next day it comes in the mail. And we're like,
Praise
what?
God.
Anonymous. So that's great if you can donate that way. And also you can always write us a nice juicy check. We don't turn those away. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yes.
absolutely. And then if you really want to be hands-on and you really feel called to be a volunteer,
Yeah, I was gonna
we
ask. That's
we
good.
definitely open the door for volunteers. And it's not the most easy process. And
Because you're going to take classes, right?
there are classes. It's a lot of training. I always tell our volunteers, we love you. You guys are not volunteers. You are unpaid staff because of the training that they go through. And they need that training because of what they face. But if that's something that you really want to be involved in, you feel a tug on your heart, even if you're a male out there and you think, wow, I could really mentor or help a man walk in fatherhood, walk in, being a husband, walk in being a partner, then men, that's a way that you can be involved as well.
That is awesome.
And I see you have an event coming up soon. And I liked what you said about this event. It says, Sanctity of Human Life is more than just a day to acknowledge the value God has placed upon all of us. It is a way to connect your church to real impactful opportunities in our community to support women, their unborn children, their families who need life-affirming hope, help, and care. I love that. And it is, we have to work together and help one another. So this event is coming up when?
Well,
We have it up on the screen.
we usually look to celebrate that time around January 20th, and I believe it falls on the 22nd for a Sunday.
19th.
Oh, the 19th?
19th.
Okay. Rewind, the 19th. So
You have so much going on, I know.
I just keep it all straight. I got a new planner. I'm ready for 2020. So the 19th. So that's a Sunday, and we'll have quite a few speakers on behalf of CareNet go into the churches and talk about sanctity of human life and talk about the pro-life movement, also talk about maybe women in the church that have experienced abortion that need healing from that. And so we touch on all sides of it. And then we also, within the churches, do something called a baby bottle drive. And that's one of our big fundraisers throughout the year. And so we set up empty baby bottles and they get to take them home, fill them up with change, dollars, checks, and then they get to bring them back and they get to come to CareNet. And that's how we get to do that fundraiser.
We're going to talk more about that in the next segment.
Yes.
That's really powerful. So, this event, how can churches get involved? Can you give us some numbers and websites or something we can get?
Yep, absolutely. So CareNetPS.org. That's
CareNetPS.org.
CareNetPS.org. P as in Paul, S.org. So they can go onto there and they can get information about sanctity of human life, souls. We call it for short SOHLS. And they can get information about that. They can get information about the center. They can get information about how to be involved. So everything you need to know is on that website.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Tanika.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You've been listening to Greater Faith Outreach Ministries with Pastor Elizabeth, reaching the world with the love of God. If you'd like prayer or a copy of today's program, log on to www.greaterfaithoutreach.com or call 253-324-7902.